Hi guys! Hello all of YouTube. This is part 3, I guess, of the tutorial. This is the eye makeup and like the lip and all that kind of stuff. So you pretty much do all of this with like any makeup you have. A lot of times I use like that $10 e.l.f. palette. Does the job as long as you use some type of base or primer to hold the eyeshadow on. Like eyeshadow quality is not super important. If like even lower quality eyeshadows, if you use a base, like they'll stay pretty well. And I know if you're doing like some kind of crazy blue and purple eye makeup tutorial or like green and yellow or something like that, most people don't want to spend like Makeup Forever or like MAC or Smashbox or Urban Decay. You're not really going to want to spend money on those type of eyeshadows that you're only going to use once every so often. Like, it's not worth it. Just go find stuff at drugstores. A lot of drugstore stuff is really getting comparable to like department store level makeup. For this, it's all MAC, Makeup Forever, Urban Decay, NYX. NYX is a very good, very inexpensive brand. I love their stuff. I would buy all of it. Their eyeshadows are so creamy. It's wonderful. But let's get to it. First thing you're going to need is a base. I use the NYX Jumbo. Okay, that's the eyeshadow base. Now, if you noticed, I was using my ring finger and I was tapping. Don't ever pull in your eyes. It's a really bad habit to get into. It causes wrinkles. Your eyes area is very sensitive. The reason you use your ring finger is because it applies the least bit of pressure. So tap, don't rub, don't pull. Really bad habit to get into. If you already do that, break it now. None of us are getting any younger. Nobody wants premature wrinkles. Nothing wrong with wrinkles, but you don't want them before like you need to have them, because you want those nice smile lines for doing all those things that you've done in your life that make you happy. So yeah. Next step, I do crease first because it seems easier. It's easier for me to control where, especially with really pigmented eyeshadows, it's easier for me to control like what goes on my actual eyelid than what goes in the crease because of fallout and all that kind of stuff. So I use, again, this fancy brush. It's so good. It really is. It's angled and it fits into your crease like perfectly, and it like blends at the same time, so you never get like a really dense, like one dense area of eyeshadow. Wonderful. And we're gonna use pink. It is a very hot pink. It's made by MAC. Use whatever. There's a million brands that make really pigmented hot pinks. Swirl. So we're going to pick up pink, tap off the excess, and go only into your crease. With this brush, it's easiest to make the point of the brush, like the angle facing down, into your crease, and then you're just going to make basically like a half moon shape around your eye, trying not to get anything on the eyelid, and trying not to blend upwards like too high all the way to your eyebrow. So basically, that's the shape. You don't want it on your eyelid. You don't want it all the way up to your eyebrow. You just want it concentrated basically right there, because we are going to put a highlight in, and there's going to go 2 more colors are going to go over this. So it doesn't really have to be perfect, but the more well blended and the more perfect you can get the base steps, the better the final product is look, because all it is layers. So now we're going to do the other eye. You'll probably be able to see this eye better. So there you go. There's the basic shape for both eyes, basically just a half moon. You can go further down like your nose, or you can go up into your eyebrow. Basically, you just kind of have to find your own eye shape. What goes on is going to look good on my eye isn't really necessarily going to contour anyone else's eye. So you kind of just play around with it. So figure it out. Try and follow try and tap your bone, feel where the bone is, and follow that. That's the easiest way. That brush blends a little bit, but it doesn't super blend, so we're still going to blend this out before we do anything else. I'm going to use one of these super fluffy blending brushes. This one's from Target. I think it's one of the Sonia Kashuk ones I got while it was on sale, but it's pretty nice. I've had it for a while. It's almost time for a new one. There's some stuff stuck to it that I don't know what it is, but it's time for a new one. Gotta get one. Black Friday, yay. So we're gonna blend. When you blend, you want to do it with a really, really light hand. That way you don't smear the product all over your face. But with a really light hand, just kind of go in circles, little circles, woo, like this. So, yeah. There you go. You really only want to blend the top part. You want to try and stay away from where it's concentrated in the crease, because that's what's going to give you your depth and your color and all that kind of stuff. We're going to put 2 more colors on top of this. We're going to use next Makeup Forever. This says it's a blush powder, but you can use them pretty much anywhere. It's made by Makeup Forever. It's a really nice matte purple. So, woo! That looks like that. And we're going to go over where we just put the pink. We're going to go over that, but not blend it so high up. That way it's not such a harsh contrast between dark purple and your skin. Okay, so this is the general eye shape that we're going for. A little bit of swoopy. We're still not done yet. You still need highlights, eyelid color, black, the usual. That blending brush is dying. It is terrible, so we're going to switch to another one. Just another fluffy brush. Blend a little more. Okay, now we're going to do the highlights and the eyelid color. Basically, just flat eyeshadow brush, really, really dense. I'm going to use white. This is the white, just regular whipped cream from NYX. So we're going to put that on the lid and on the brow bone and blend down for the brow bone. So, eyeshadow almost done. All we gotta do is the black, just to give it a little bit of depth and dimension. Whenever you put a dark color next to a light color, it makes both of them pop. It makes one look dark, one look a lot brighter. So that's what we're gonna do. When it comes to my crease for my eyes, I like to use an angled brush like this. It just gives you a little more control, and then you can kind of just make a straight edge with the one side of the edge and then just flick it up, and then you can blend out from there. That's what I found that works, so that's what we're gonna do. This is Urban Decay's Blackout. It is very, very black, very, very matte. I don't like shimmer blacks or shimmer purples. I don't know. I don't really like shimmer eyeshadow at all. So most things are matte. But put a little bit on your brush, and then just look at where your eye opens and follow that. Try not to get too much on the white that you just did. Okay. Now that the shapes are pretty even, we're gonna blend. Really, the black only goes in your inner corner and then gets blended out to give it a little bit more dimension. It's really just like a small triangle. Mine is angled up just because I like the black to blend off of my winged eyeliner. You don't have to do that. You can do a smaller corner of black, but it really does give your eyes some dimension and a little bit more shadow. Generally, there should be a straight line going from the base of your, the corner of your eyelid out. I messed up a little bit, so that's where these guys come in. These are just makeup sponges, but they can kind of correct a little bit if you mess up. And sometimes you mess up and you need to fix it. And there you go. See? Fixed. This black, everything looks a lot darker in this light than what it looks in the light I'm in. I'm trying to fix it, but see, everything, because there's a light facing up, everything is a little more dramatic in this video than what it looks like in real life. Okay, so now we are done with the eyeshadow. Now we just gotta do liner and mascara, lashes, all that kind of stuff. When you do eyeliner, pencil liner on your lash line, on your waterline, try to break this habit now. Don't pull down your eyelid. You can just draw directly on it, especially if you have like a nicer eye pencil. If you don't have a nicer eye pencil, set that shit on fire with a lighter and melt it a little bit, and then it will go on like gel. Tips. And there you go. That's eyeliner. If you get a little bit underneath on your lash line, don't worry about it, because you do want to put a little bit of more of a color down there anyway. I'm going to use black. I'm going to go use that same brush that I used for my eyebrows, a little teeny one. I'm just going to put a little bit underneath my lash line. That way it just gives my eyes a little more dimension, just a little smokier and sultrier. Glamour Makeup. Woo! And there you go, eyes lined. If you have like any fallout, you can use like a face brush. I only have a tiny bit, so I can just kind of use this blending brush. But if there's a bunch of fallout on your face, just use like a dry like face brush, and you can brush it off. If you are one of those people that has a lot of problems with fallout, you can get like a mineral veil or a translucent powder and blot it like underneath your eyes before you even start your eye makeup. That way it lands on something that you can just brush right away. But there you go. Eyes done. Next thing would be liquid eyeliner. This shit can fucking scent spirit. It really fucking can. But I use $1 e.l.f. eyeliner. It's super cheap. It's super good. I've never had a problem with it flaking off or coming off before I wanted it to. It's just regular liquid. It has a brush. It's not one of those felt things. Some people think the felt tips are easier to control. I think it's harder. So I like the brush, and you can also control like the weight of it a little bit easier. Same with when I was talking about eyebrows. Eyeliner is the same thing. You can only control one edge of a line at a time. This is basically painting. Same with a regular paintbrush. You can only control one side. So do the top, and it is a lot easier to do tiny strokes as opposed to like one long fluid line. There's a lot of room for error in that like 1.5 inch space. So little tiny strokes. That way if you do mess up, it's not like the biggest deal in the world. Okay. There's the eyeliner, that's on the lid. It makes it easier to start in the middle of your eye, work down, and then work outward, then work inward, and then kind of clean it up. There's also tricks with a spoon. I don't use that way. Now we're going to do like the wings. If you have problems getting your wings even, I would say do the same thing with the eyebrows, make dots. It's a lot easier to clean up a dot than it is to clean up a line. So just keep making dots until you get them perfect, and then it's just tracing about 1 centimeter. I like to line up to the edge of my eyebrow, and I don't really do the dots anymore. I can eyeball it pretty good. They might be crooked a little bit sometimes, but whatever. So, wings. Yeah, wings! Okay, and that is the wings. They're pretty even. Just like anything else, your face isn't even, so they're not going to be exactly even. but this is the way they are now. There's a million different directions and ways you can do the wings, double wing, triple wing, draw a bunch of lines on your face, who cares? Figure out what works best for your eye shape. It'll probably take like a day of just playing with it, doing different shapes, figuring out what you like best, and then just try and remember what you felt like was your best. Don't forget, because then you'll have a headache every day of your life when you try and do winged eyeliner. Mine isn't perfect, but close enough. Now on to mascara. Yay! This is Nick Cack, New York. I don't know, it was $2.99 at the hair store. Cheap things for the win. Some people really care about mascara. I usually wear false lashes, so I don't really care that much, but this is pretty good. It's very black, it doesn't flake. I'm sure all of you know how to put on mascara, but in case you don't, the easiest way is to open your mouth and look down. Try not to stab yourself in the eye. And there we go. If you have a problem with having like the weird clumping spider lashes, you can get one of the like eyelash combs. They're little metal things. They're usually on the end of eyebrow brushes, and they're these little metal things, and you can just comb through your eyelashes and it'll get all these clumps out. Or you can use your fingers. That sometimes like mats the eyebrow hair down, but if there's like one clump and you can get it with tweezers or your fingers, go for it. Nobody wants spiders on their eyeballs. The last thing is lips. I already put chapstick on. I use the Blistex medicated stuff. It's really nice, especially in the winter. I have really dry skin, so that also translates to my lips. It's pretty terrible. But this is lip stuff from, I think it's from Physicians Formula, but it's one of these guys. But it's one of those guys. It's the pH Match, the one in pink. These are really cool. They go on clear, so if you mess up, it doesn't matter. But it changes colors like with your body's like pH chemicals or whatever, and it makes like a perfect shade for you. I don't know how much based in science that is, but it makes a really pretty shade of pink on my mouth, so I like it. And it also comes with a mirror and a light. Oh, it died. Look, a light. But there you go. That's what color it shows on me. It's like a baby Barbie pink. It's pretty nice. It's a lot darker in real life than what's showing here when you see pictures or whatever. Yeah, it'll look different a little bit. Light kind of throws, this shitty light situation kind of throws everything off. But all I gotta do is lashes, and then I'll be right back. And there we go. That's the entire look. If you want, you can add glitter, because glitter rules everything around me. It's wonderful. If you guys want, I didn't show you guys putting on eyelashes, but if you guys want me to show you how to put on eyelashes, I can. But that is all. So I will see you guys again soon, I guess. Bye, YouTube.